Hi, good evening, my dear friends, those who are following Growth Mindset channel, and those who are watching from various groups. Friends have shared this streaming from many pages, and some maybe personal pages, some maybe some groups and all that. Thank you so much. I received so many messages. Looking forward for today's topic, cyberbullying. How serious are we? Thank you so much for coming to this session. Okay, today we have two important guests, and I'm going to introduce them very soon. Now, before that, let me just share with a few things like, how serious is this problem? Is it, according to Statistica, this website, I saw 28 million people are using smartphones in Malaysia. And everybody is almost like 87% Malaysian population. Everybody wants to have their say. So that shows that, in English, they say Tom, Dick, and Harry already have a phone. So in a Malaysian context, Rahman, Rahim, and Raza already got phone. Kali, Kabali, Muttu already got phone. Achong, Abeng, and Ameng also got smartphones. So this is what happening when everyone is having smartphones. What happens is everybody want to have their say in the internet. Some of course, some people are very good comments. They're very understanding. They're very motivating. But then there are a lot of hate comments. The racial slurs are going on, and many people like say things like without even thinking, because they're all keyboard warriors, trolling, racial and religious insults, derogatory remarks. So this is all very rampant in Malaysia. So that is why I took this subject, so that we can explore further how serious are we now. So at least see whether any development, whether any hope or not in this country for improving the current situation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching now, before I bring in my guest, special guest, what I want to do is I'm going to play a video. Let us all watch. I do not know whether. Okay, let me bring them in first, so we can all watch together. Okay, our first guest today is very important. It's an authority in cyber security. He is Lieutenant Colonel Mustafa bin Ahmad. He's a retired army, and of course served 18 years in the army. Today is serving the nation through the cyber security. And just a little bit about himself. He outreach and is a president of vice president of Outreach and Capacity Building Division of Cyber Security Malaysia, CSM, an agency under the purview of Ministry of Communication and Multimedia, Malaysia. Prior to joining CSM in 2007, he has served more than 18 years, as I said, in the Malaysian Army. And he does a lot of outreach problem. He's reaching out a lot and educating people, especially young people in the area of internet safety and cyber security. Colonel Mustafa has been recognized as a leader in the internet safety and digital citizenship especially. So he is a celebrity. He is invited to many TV talks and all that. He's quite busy man. When I called him straight away, he accepted my offer. I have to say thank you so much, sir. Let me bring him in first. Hello, sir. Colonel Mustafa, thank you so much for having you. Give me a second. I unmute you. Okay, we can. You can say something now.
All right. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to everybody who are listening. And thank you, Jay, for having me on this mindset. I've been on a number of webinars before, but I don't know why tonight I'm so nervous. Maybe I'm in the presence of somebody, and also, and one more thing, our another panelist is a lawyer, so that's why. But anyway, thank you very much for having me. And remember, my name is Lieutenant Colonel Mustafa Ahmad, retired. I'm not retarded. That's very important.
That's a good joke.
I'm worried. So normally RTD and all those things. What is it? Is it retired or retarded? But I'm just retired, and but still ongoing, and a few more years to go in the service of the nation, and hopefully we can have a good conversation tonight, Jay.
Yeah, really looking forward. Colonel, great minds will never retire. There's no retire for great minds like you. Okay, please help me. Let us bring in our second guest, special guest today. Young man, very handsome, and very active young man. He's an advocate and a solicitor. He handles criminal litigation. The moment I saw the criminal word, I'm quite nervous also. I'm equally nervous like you, Colonel Mustafa. Okay,
Yeah.
litigation, civil litigation, and cyber crimes. That's what I'm looking for. On the social front, he's an active young man who serves through NGOs like Saint Vincent de Paul Society and several other NGOs. He humbly requests me to keep his profile quite low. So thank you so much for son accepting my offer. Let me bring him in also. Okay, let me unmute you. Okay, Mr.
Hi.
Joel Ruben John.
Hello, good evening, everyone. For those who are
How are
watching,
you?
I'm very fine. I'm very fine. How are all of you?
Very good,
Yeah.
very good. Very
Very good, very
excited.
good. Very excited.
Yeah,
Very
me too. Me too.
excited.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
glad that all of us can share this space to share our thoughts and discuss on the topic given today. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Colonel
definitely.
Mustafa, don't worry. Lawyers are nice people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are many nice people.
I always hope that I do never use a lawyer. Yeah. All right.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, let us make today's session very casual. Let's see if there's any comments. Wow, so far comments are all coming already. People are engaging. So
Wow.
I will take questions. Those viewers out there, if you are watching wherever you are, you kindly share this content. I think it's a very important content. Before we even started, a couple of people messaged me and asked me when you guys starting, what time. So because people are looking forward for this kind of topics, much talked about. So that's what I say. Almost everybody got a smartphone. Everybody want to have their saying go online. Okay, let's start the session with a video. See if I can play this now. Give me a second.
Kawan yang kenalkan kami. Masa mula-mula kenal tu, bila nak spend time, mesti lepak ramai-ramai. Tapi, bila dah berani sikit, mula keluar 2 orang. Bila dah mula suka tu, hari-hari mesej. Makan, minum, tidur, semua nak update. Saya tengok ramai kawan-kawan saya yang buat macam tu. Jadi, saya ingat benda tu benda biasa. Saya pun okey lah. Jadi saya send je gambar. Hari-hari mesti send gambar. Ada sekali tu saya pergi sekolah. Saya tengok budak lelaki semua pandang saya semacam. Patutlah dia share gambar tu dengan orang lain. Time tu saya rasa saya ni bodoh sangat. Bila saya minta break, dia ugut. Dia kata nak hantar gambar tu kat page sekolah. Dia nak hantar gambar tu dekat mak ayah saya. Saya rasa stres sangat-sangat time tu. Sampai hari-hari saya fikir nak bunuh diri. Sekarang ni gambar-gambar saya ada kat dia. Jadi saya tak boleh nak lari daripada dia. Saya tak tahu nak buat apa. Saya benci budak tu. Saya benci sekolah. Saya rasa malu sangat. Saya betul-betul menyesal.
We all follow this video. Thank you so much, Colonel Mustafa, for sharing this video. I think it's very powerful. Short while ago, I saw this video. I thought it's important. I should share with those viewers. Dear viewers, did you all watch the video just now? If you watch, can you just say yes? Because the first time I'm playing a video during this live streaming. I'm just like every now and then, every weekly, we are trying to improve our situation. Our, the tech is already going higher and higher. Okay, there's a yes response. That means people have watched because the storyline is so powerful. This is the reality. Okay, let's start off without further ado. Let's get the context clear first. What is cyberbullying? How do you define cyberbullying? Maybe we can start off with Colonel Mustafa.
Oh, thank you, Jay, Joel, and everybody, our viewers tonight. Just as an anecdote on that video, I've shown it to during one of my talks to some school, a few schools, and most of the girls who are really watching it cried at the time. I mean, what happened was, I think this thing is rampant and it's happening in most of our teenagers' life at the moment. And I mean, they naively they share pictures, they share photos. This is what we said: bila bercinta, everything is good when you are in love. But everything when goes wrong, then a lot of things come in, and these are the things that is happening at the moment. Okay, as you can see, I'm sure a lot of people Google what is cyberbullying, and cyberbullying has been consistently being high in 2010 or in most of the years. But cyberbullying is defined as the use of digital communication tools such as the internet, mobile phones by an aggressor or the bully to deliberately upset or harass their target, the person who being bullied, intentionally and repeatedly. I think that's the word, intentionally and repeatedly. Now I'm sounding like a lawyer, but anyway, boys are more likely to experience physical bullying, while girls are more likely to experience psychological bullying. And cyber bullies usually come from a perceived higher social status or position of power, such as children who are bigger, stronger, or perceived to be popular, rather than isolated incident or bullying is a pattern of behavior, and that is what is our definition. But Mr. J and Joel, recently I was involved in the MMU has been commissioned by the Malaysian the Ministry of Communication and Multimedia, and they have a similar definition, but I think their definition is a little bit more intriguing and it's more elaborate. They were saying that cyberbullying means any act or series of acts committed by an individual or entity through digital communication or use of digital technology with the intent to cause harassment, alarm, or other adverse effect to another person. So otherwise known as target person or victim, and as a result, causing the said target person or victim harm, harassment, alarm, and distress. And that is I should say, the textbook cyberbullying at the moment. Yeah.
More of like academic this definition, like what earlier when we were discussing, Mr. Joel mentioned. Legal perspective, Mr. Joel, what is your take for the setting the context for cyberbullying?
Now, I fully concur with Colonel Mustafa. His definitions suffice. It suffices. Okay. Now, in terms of from a legal point of view, there has not been any statutory definition for cyberbullying yet. Okay, the laws has not defined what is cyberbullying yet. So we have academicians who are trying to define what is cyberbullying, and more or less what Colonel Mustafa said, that is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is just an extension of bullying, where you try to harass someone. You are in a position of power and you try to subdue someone who is not as powerful as you. And cyberbullying is just using an electronic mean to achieve your goal of bullying someone, to harass someone, to intimidate someone, to refrain them from doing something that they ought to do lawfully. So I think we can agree on the definition of cyberbullying, i.e. someone from a powerful position is trying to subdue you or is trying to harass you. And there's plethora of explanation for cyberbullying out there. But legally speaking, there's no any statutory definition for cyberbullying yet.
Yeah, thank you so much. And that is the reason why today we are hosting this topic, cyberbullying. There is no legal term, because first of all, there is no law in place yet. We're going to come to that in a while, why there's no law and what is actually happening. Let me take some of the, say hi to our viewers and all that. Malati, okay, these are all the messages that are coming in. Okay, hi. This is Arogya Mary Kolandai. Okay, nice. Thank you for joining. Gauri, Lakshmi, Devi Damodran, Mary Thomas. Mary has joined from Dr. Mary. She is from Philippines. She has joined us. Thank you, Dr. Mary. Radha Nidhi, thank you for joining. Subramaniam is my brother. Thank you, brother, for joining. Ananti Raj is the CEO of Yayasan Chowkit. She's a strong advocate of well-being. And this is Sudan Rao, my nephew from Singapore. Padmini. Okay, next we have a question here. Very fast. What is this? It's hello, keen to hear topic discuss. Nora Lam. Oh, okay. Keen, looking forward from Bangsa. Okay, Padmini Lakshmi. Okay, let me see if there's any questions here. Okay, meanwhile, okay, I think there is one question here. How do you differentiate between joke and a bullying? Okay, we take this question, then we go. Okay, how do you differentiate joke and a bullying? Maybe legal perspective. You can start with Joel.
Sure. So to my dear viewers, in my understanding, in my opinion, a joke is something funny, where bullying is not funny. Simple as that. To put it in a simple term, a joke is when something is funny and it's funny to the person that is being projected. For example, if someone tells me a joke, it's funny for me. But if somebody else says a joke about me to another third party, that is not necessarily funny for me. So that can borderline bullying already. I mean, in simple terms, that is what I can say.
What about Colonel? Your take?
Yeah, I mean, that is a good question, because the thing is, it relates to what recently happened. I should not, but I think everybody knows between a teacher and a student, where the teacher was saying that it boils down back to, sexual harassment, if I'm not mistaken. What else? The thing is, I should say the victim. It doesn't matter of how the victim takes it. So we have two different situations. One say it is a joke, but then again, the victim say it's not, and it has some maybe some psychological effect on her, or some. But normally, what happens is between the male becomes is always saying the joke, but the female will not take it as a joke, and that boils down and there's also the fine line of going into sexual harassment, and that happens rapidly also in everyday life. Yeah,
correct. Very true. And Gauri, just echo what we say just now. The law doesn't recognize cyberbullying, hence the reason why it's spreading like wildfire. Oh yes. And then there is this is Anis asking, is there any law around bullying? Yeah, we are coming to that. Anis, thank you for asking. And dear viewers, kindly share this content, and then so that more people will benefit from this. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, maybe that we can start off from that. What are the current laws you mentioned just now? If there's anything new coming in, is the current law sufficient? Or if it is not, so what is actually missing? Maybe Mr. Joel, you can take this question.
Sure. I will answer the first part of the question, whether there is any law concerning cyberbullying right now in Malaysia. Yes, there is law. For example, the Communications and Multimedia Act, specifically Section 233 of the Act. That is primarily what our enforcers use to stop cyberbullying in Malaysia. Where in Section 233, it says that if there's anyone who sends harassing messages by any means, electronic means, you can be imprisoned for a year or fine up to 50,000. This section is not a mandatory imprisonment. There's no mandatory imprisonment. If you read the statute properly and correctly, there's the word "or" in it. So it's either one or both. It can be both as well. Okay, so it depends on the circumstances of the case, the seriousness of the matter. Then if it requires imprisonment, then of course the judge, being the person up there, he would then decide accordingly. We have that. And under the penal code is a code where most of the offenses is listed out in the penal code. For example, robbery, murder, rape, everything. Okay, so under the penal code, there's a specific section 506, which is criminal intimidation, where you intimidate someone, stopping them from doing something that they are lawfully bound to do, or you are making them do something that is illegal. Now that is already intimidation. Okay, so primarily the enforcers, the police officers, the prosecutions, they will use these two acts, the Communications and Multimedia Act and also the Penal Code, Section 506 of the Penal Code, to address cyberbullying now in Malaysia. That is the current position now.
So the second part is what you're saying is it's not sufficient. It's
Okay.
not sufficient.
Okay. The second part of the question, whether or not the current law that we have is sufficient to combat cyberbullying. Now, I sincerely believe if it was sufficient, we won't be having this discussion now.
Exactly. It's very true.
Simple
Very
as that.
true.
There's a gap in the law that we need to address. That is
Correct.
the hard truth, the hard pill for us to swallow. Okay,
Yeah.
since there is I would say a lacuna, there's a gap in the law. Hence, why the discussion arises: what laws do we need to actually combat the issue at hand now? Okay, there's two. Allow me to elaborate further. It might take some time.
Please.
Okay, there's two schools of thought here in Malaysia. One, amend the existing law, Communications and Multimedia Act. Amend the law, include cyberbullying, describe cyberbullying, give a proper definition to cyberbullying. What are the punishments for cyberbullying? Okay, that is the first school of thought. The second school of thought is introduce a new law altogether, a fresh law. Now, our neighboring state, Singapore, they actually have a law for this. It's known as Protection from Harassment Act, which was introduced way back in 2013. Even Philippines has an anti-cyberbullying law. In this act, they have codified the act. They have drafted the act in such a way that it is very precise, it's very detailed, it encompasses all cyberbullying act, and it also gives the punishment for it, taking into consideration teen offenders, like what our Colonel Mustafa has pointed out earlier. Teen offenders, someone who is below 18, they could be 12 to whatever it is, below 18, and they have not actually intended to bully a person, but because of they do not know what they are doing, or maybe they don't have proper guidance at home, they did it accidentally. So they even in Singapore and Philippines, they have a section to actually deal with it, which is to refer them to rehabilitation. And in Philippines, they go one step further. Even the parents are also forced to go for the rehabilitation, not only the offender.
That's a kind of a maturity in the law, in those countries.
Yes.
Yeah, Colonel, you were saying something.
I'm just trying to add what Joel was saying just now, and I'm happy to report or happy to share with everybody. I'm part of the Jawatan Kuasa Anti-Cyberbully study at the moment. It has been the study has been done by MMU, or the Multimedia University. Basically, we are trying to find out what are the best means to come up with this. First and foremost, as what Joel is saying just now, would it be a standalone act, or is it part of the act what we have at the moment? From the study, we found out that the act that what we have at the moment are in fact sufficient. But then again, it needs to be improved as the technology becomes more sophisticated, and things are, sometimes getting out of hand. And also, our children are now, especially from COVID-19, spending more time at home. Mind you, in one of the statistics, it used to be in 2018, 2019, students have been only spending about 5 to 6 hours a day. But now we are looking at about 5 to 12 hours a day on the internet. And what more with those who are playing games? So now, with that in mind, they are looking at it, and I think they're now this is under the instruction of the Yang Berhormat Menteri Communication, Datuk Saifuddin, and I really commend this group. They are really finding it, and they are benchmarking against, as what Joel said, Singapore, Philippines, New Zealand, and soon. Hoping that the parliament will be coming in, will be back to normal, and this law will be introduced, and then hopefully it will be passed, and we will have a cyberbullying law in Malaysia, hopefully.
Yeah, really looking forward for that. I when I was reading up regarding this, I saw the preliminary work has been going on. There are several meetings and all that, to frame up this a new law.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, let's wait for the parliament to open and let them clean up the parliament, get it into the parliament first.
Quite dusty now.
Sanitize.
Sanitizers, yeah. Okay, now coming to Mr. Joel, I want to ask you, which are the affected people when it comes to the cyberbullying? Now we see cases like teenage issues. We talked about it, teenagers using and abusive words and all that, and commenting derogatory comments and all that. Until there are many cases of random here and there suicide and all that. For a layman like me, when we see in the papers the so and so committed suicide because of a TikTok harassment, so this all comes under the cyberbullying actually. But then there will, for a while, people will talk about it. After that, everything will be forgotten. There will be a new issue will surface. And then the other one will be gone. So we don't really see what is actually the law is handling this kind of situation. Maybe you can enlighten our viewers on that issue.
Sure. So, in relation to your question on cyberbullying, you have raised an issue where an actual thing that happened where a girl actually committed suicide. I think this was in Penang, if I'm not mistaken, after her ex-boyfriend actually threatened to leak her nudes over social media. And this poor girl actually made a police report regarding that. And 3 days later, there was no action taken. And unfortunately, she had committed suicide. Okay. Then later on, after that, they has actually arrested the perpetrator, and they have actually sentenced him in the Sessions Court under 506 for intimidation. He was sentenced for 1 year and 9 months imprisonment for this. Now, a lay person would ask, why was he not sentenced or charged under murder? Because he has, as a result of his action, someone has actually lost their life. So it is
exactly. That's how a layman thinks,
Yes. It is quite saddening that it actually happened here in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Now the issue is, under the law for murder, it is very specific. You have to prove very specific things under the law. There are certain requirements that you need to prove. And first of all, there must be a murder. For example, I can give you an example. Someone must actually take a knife and stab you. Or someone must actually commit murder against the deceased. And number two is what we call mens rea, or the intention. What was the intention? A person who is charged under 302 for murder, they must have intended to cause death, so to speak. Okay. Now, in our case, in the Penang case that I was referring to, the causal link between the action and the fact that the girl actually committed suicide is very weak. There's no any causal link in it. Indirectly he is, yes, he's the cause of it. Okay, morally to speak, I don't. In fact, I'm furious about it as well. But then when we come to a legal point of view, the case cannot stand in the court of law. Hence, that is why in the newly enacted or amended Anti-Cyberbullying Act, the offense must be severe enough to stop people from doing this. The people People are complaining that only 1 year and 9 months for someone who took someone's life. Correct. Yes, that is the unfortunate thing, and hence why the law must be actually amended to when someone's action of bullying causes another person to die, to kill themselves, to take their own life, then the punishment must be severe. It must be severe compared to other forms of bullying.
Because this also has that psychological effect to to the victim. The anxiety kicks in, and then depression. That's how they take their life, because it's to the extreme level. So there is a question here. I would like to ask Colonel regarding this question. This talking about awareness. How how do we educate our teens? I believe cyber security Malaysia, the primary role is also educate people on this cyber security and then cyber bullying and all that. What are the activities that cyber security has taken up, and anything what's in plan?
All right. Thank you, Jay, for the question. Basically, in Cybersecurity Malaysia, we do have the helpline. We call it the Cyber 999, which the department is the Malaysian Computer Emergency Response Team, and which consists of specialists and analysts in the area of incident handling. Basically, for information, Jay and Joel and viewers out there, we operate the Cyber 999 Help Center. We provide emergency response on computer security. But then again, before I answer those questions, but I would like also to share with you what are the reports that we've been receiving so far from 2012 until 2020. The numbers have been increasing from 2012 from 62, and last year alone we have approximately 229 reports on cyberbullying. And basically, the age of this not victim, but the age of the predators are from the age of the most from 26 to 40 years old, and that's approximately about last year alone about 58, and the total number so far we've accumulated is 243. But then again, unfortunately, some ghosts. Some ghosts report. They do the report, and some does not report, and maybe at the school, it settles at the school. And maybe in school, what I understand, that they can report to the counselors, they can report to the teachers, and I have come across students who have what they said. We don't want. There are some students who shy away from reporting. The reason being, but when they share or they mention this that they are being cyberbullied, and when that matter should be private and confidential, but suddenly the whole school knows about it, and these are the stigma or the problem that most of the school children are facing at the moment. And unfortunately, the Malaysian society at large, the kepochi, I think they want to know, and suddenly, they suddenly, what do you call it, spread the word. And these are the things that sometimes some of the cyberbullying goes unreported. But then again, what we are doing we also urge the public, if you have anything, you can report to us. We may not be able to solve the problem, but we may be able to help you technically. Basically, we can provide the evidence, because detailed evidence is something that is difficult to prove in the court of law. And we as cybersecurity, we have the digital forensic. We can find out that's why when we meet any cyberbullying victim, we tell them, keep the evidence, keep whatever they've been telling to you. Now, on our part, for your information, under my division itself, we have call it the National Cybersecurity Awareness Module, where hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be doing it. We'll be introducing it into the schools by the third quarter this year. This is under the 11 Malaysian plan, whereby students from Standard 1 to Form 5 will be able to have this awareness program in their curriculum. And one of the topic will be cyberbullying. It may be, something the student can be aware of. One of the things that at our part, we find out that most of these people who are using the internet, they are so naive, and most of them are not aware that what are the things, how they can report, how they can go to who to find, who to get to help, what are the steps, what are the process. And this is the things, and thank you, Jay, for having this kind of a session, that we can tell the public, you have people who can listen to you, there are people who can help you and to resolve this problem. And other than that, as I said just now, that we have this Cyber 999, and also we have this cybersecurity awareness talk in schools and also at any organization. Mind you, it's not only children bullying, but also adults also bully each other.
Yes, very true.
And that could, that could be in anything. The thing is, if I can quote one of in the research by one of the, they were saying that it is not only bullying in the sense that. Hold on. Let me get you the actual quote. Is that cyberbullying is not limited to sexual and online harassment alone. Some of the categories that he found constitute cyberbullying were impersonation, denigration, exclusion, stalking, masquerading, outing, and trickery. And based on the finding, 7 to 8 in 10 teenagers do involve at some point of time in some form of cyberbullying act, driven by the natural impulsive behavior. However, it is not those who frequently repeats the act who often are associated with the higher incident or these maladaptive behaviors, and such as offline bullying, substance abuse, and also poor psychosocial competence. And this is what I quote from Dr. Tava Vignaraj. I
Okay.
think that's, I mean, so that's why cyberbullying is not only the one, I mean, telling all the, I should say, degenerating words, I mean, bad words about it, but they are also, there are other dimensions to it at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very detailed explanation. Thank you, Colonel, regarding that. I'm going to take another question on to Mr. Joel to handle this question. Now, now we know that there's an enemy out there. Cyberbullying is real. It's happening. Now, what is your advice as a lawyer to our young children? How to prevent our teenagers from being cyberbullied?
Okay.
What they should be doing?
Before I address Mr. Kandan's question, I would like to add a bit on what Colonel Mustafa had earlier on stated. Now, if we look into the question on why cyberbullying cases are not being reported, why I presume that only 20 to 10% of cases is actually being reported. The majority of cases goes unreported. Now,
Yes.
why is there an issue? We need to tackle that question at hand. Now, being a lawyer, okay, I do admit even I am intimidated to make a police report. Do you know why? Not because I'm intimidated by the personnel or the enforcers. It's the waiting time. It's the time that I actually need to sit in the police station to actually make a report. Now, if we look into a teenager's mindset, of course, going to a police station is not a pleasant experience for them. For example, a child or a parent, it will never be a pleasant experience for anyone, and they have to wait there. Now, once you make a police report, let me just explain the flow. What actually happens once you make a police report of cyberbullying? There will be an investigation officer assigned to you, and IO, Pegawai Siasatan, will be assigned to you. Now, this Pegawai Siasatan will then look into the police report and investigate the matter. Now, how do they actually investigate the matter? They will contact the telco companies and get the detail of the person who, the suspect, residential address, and so on. Then they will go on to make an arrest. Probably they will remand that person and interrogate them. Did you do it? Why did you do it? So on and so forth. Then, once the investigation papers are complete, they have the evidence that they need. For example, WhatsApp messages. Let's say someone cyberbully, someone sending WhatsApp messages, threatening messages. If you come to school tomorrow, I'll beat you up. Don't come to school tomorrow. Or if you come, bring 10 ringgit, 5 ringgit, I want to take your money. For example. Now, what the policemen will do, they will actually look into the WhatsApp chat. Okay, if they have the evidence, good for them. Usually, they will liaise with the concerned ministries, multimedia ministry as well, telco companies, to get the evidences that they need. Once the IP is ready, they will then proceed to give the IP to the AG's chamber, the Attorney General, where the DPP, the Deputy Public Prosecutor, will actually decide whether are they going to prosecute this person or not. Once they prosecute the person, then the case will go on in court for an undetermined time. We won't know. It depends on the case. Now, this entire process is very long and very tiring for a witness, a victim. And especially if the victim is a child, it will be even more tiring for the child having to come to court as a witness and doing all these things. Now, I believe these are the obstacles that stops people from actually making a police report, getting the officials involved in this matter, because they are afraid of the repercussion. They have to go to court, they have to go to Balai, IO will call them. Now, do we have a system where we can bypass all of this and simplify the system for the complainant, where they can actually go and make their report and actions will be taken as soon as they can? Now, that is what we need to discuss here. I believe in Singapore, there is a special court for this. Just like in Malaysia, we have a court against sexual offences against child. Mahkamah Jenayah Sexual Kanak-kanak. just for children. We have a court for that. So if let's say we have a court just for cyberbullying matters, I believe cases will be disposed quickly, and people and the society at large, they will be encouraged to actually go and make a
Very
police
true, very
report
true.
or report to the relevant officials concerning cyberbullying.
That's why, very true. What you said, I want to echo that also. Nobody loves to go to a police station for make a report because it's never be a pleasant experience. At times, I mean, I personally have experienced that. At times when we go
Yes.
and make, there was a 2 times a break-in my office. When I reported, I was handled like a criminal, not the way they talk to you, the intonation. Oh, that's another
Yeah.
topic by itself. We can do that another session. There is a
That's it.
question for Colonel here.
Yeah.
Miss Indrani Kumar, she asked a question. You know the video that I played earlier, just to
Yeah.
follow up on the video which was shown earlier, is there any way the bully can be brought to court? Is that a real case, Colonel, or is it an enactment?
I think it's an enlightenment, but then
Okay.
again, I mean, the thing is, but it's happening, and normally definitely that I mean, it does not go reported because of the stigma, malu, and what the parents. So that's why I want to echo what Joel was saying just now. I think, but then again, in cyberbullying, law itself is not good enough. I mean, law is something that you want to prevent from something happening, and also to, I should say, a scare I mean, to scare people from not doing it. But then again, to me, it's just like what we are doing in PKP 3.0 at the moment. You have to self-regulate. You have to, I should say, parents should be playing a very important role. Know their children. I have 5 children, but I'm lucky. Most of them grow up, and they're all grown up already, so I don't have to deal with them. I mean, at the moment we call it the millennials. We call it the one when they just give. I mean, we just give birth to them. I mean, our wife gives birth, and then all of a sudden they have the gadgets already with them. And these are the difficult part how to do. But then again, in our we have a module in cyber parenting module telling how you for you to handle these children, especially the one if you have a let's say a kindergarten children, and how to take care of teenage children, and parents play a very important role, especially when it comes to cyberbullying. It's no more like last time lah, masa kita kecil-kecil dulu when I think. But I become an orang, isn't it? And Mr. J, you become. I think your father also wallop you with all. I mean, so these are the things that we went through. But we became. But nowadays, you need to use psychology. You need to talk to your children. You need to befriend them. And one of the things that we tell the parents, become a friend. Do not stalk them. So these are the thing, the relationship. So I think awareness and how you the family unit very important in terms of and I said to self-regulate. That was important thing. Kawal diri. Yeah.
Well said.
So
Colonel, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for whatever you guys are doing in terms of trying to educate people on the cyber security. I went through your website very thoroughly. I saw a lot of work you're doing on the cyber crimes related issues and all that. I appreciate if you can add more activities on educating, Malaysians in terms of cyberbullying. I hope very soon the Parliament open the new law come in, so it will be helpful for at least benefit for Malaysians. Okay, I want to take another question here. Nizam Kasim asked a question. I think it's a very good question. Occasionally, cyberbullying occurred between close friends or among peers. So he's asking whether is it between friends or among peers. Mind if I asking? Definitely. Thank you for asking, Nizam. Maybe Mr. Joel can take this question based on your experience.
Sure. Cyberbullying, it happens across everywhere. You can be close friends, you can be peers as well. But when it concerns close friends and peers, the term cyberbullying, it takes another form known as trolling. They start trolling you. Memes will be involved.
It's becoming a fashionable thing nowadays, Mr. Joel.
Yes, for people to troll each other. So
Yeah.
as what Colonel Mustafa pointed out, the awareness is very important. One should know where to draw the line between joke between friends, something that is nice, compared to when it turns to bullying, cyberbullying. Now I've known cases where close friends who is being bullied by another friend, but he chose to keep quiet because he doesn't want to affect the friendship between them, because for the other person it's funny, it's just a joke, but
Yeah, true.
he doesn't realize that the other person, the victim, is actually getting emotionally traumatized and scarred because of his behavior. So it happens across the board. Everyone can become a victim of cyberbullying.
Mm.
I
Okay,
mean,
I'm going to, yeah.
so
Please,
sorry,
Colonel.
Jay. I mean, the video is a good example. They were
Yeah.
lovers, they were best friends, and suddenly when the other guy was trying to share the pictures and everything, so and that now it turns out to be something else. So that is also a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Maybe I just want to add on. There was the Penang case you mentioned just now. There was one more case. A girl was having a friend, just a working colleague. She took one picture or something like that, and then posted in the TikTok. Some act. Somebody, I think Mr. Joel knows about the case. And this
Yeah.
girl, the one guy who is supposedly influencer. You see, I want
Mm.
to caution, warn all these influencers, guys. I know there are thousands of people following you, but please be mindful that you have a social obligation. Please be
Yes.
respectful to another human being. I was very, very angry when I saw that news. The girl, poor girl, is just friends, no? And the guy went and put some kind of derogatory remark, and really, and a lot of people commented on it. She couldn't take that emotional pressure. She took a life. Here we have lost one life, but this is caused by one so-called influencer. And so those influencers out there, please be mindful and please be respectful and have empathy on another human being. Maybe Mr. Joel, you want to say something on that case? So
Yeah.
this one we do not know. Actually, I know this. The family went to the MCMC. After that, don't know
Mm.
what happened, whether justice served or not. So this is the
Mm.
big question out there for laymen like me. Maybe
Mm.
you can enlighten me, Mr. Joel.
Sure. As I pointed out earlier, a criminal case, when someone is charged in court, the process will take quite some time. It is a long-winded process, especially when there's elements when the people there's a loss of life. Then it becomes even more heavier, and of course, the entire process will take very long. So this is why people they don't have contact anymore with that case. Initially, when the initial phase, when excuse me for using this bahasa Melayu is known as hangat-hangat tai ayam, you know. During that time, everyone will talk about the case, everyone will
Yeah.
voice out their opinion. But as time goes by, people will start forgetting because there's many other new issues that is coming. So as Mr. J gave a reminder to social media influencers, when there's a group of people who is following you, there's maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or even more, you have to be mindful of everything that you say, because it affects another person's life. As you said earlier, one should have empathy in them. They should always put themselves in another person's shoe. Okay, that is number one. Now, number two, I would like to explain this a bit more. uh, when concerning cyberbullying, like the case that Mr. J has just highlighted, this person actually uploaded, the victim actually uploaded a TikTok video with another friend, and this social media influencer, so to say, has actually posted a Facebook message in which he has slandered against the victim, saying that, you know, all sorts of lies and things that are not true about them. Now, besides lodging a police report complaining about someone, if there's an element of defamation in that context, for example, someone writes about you in Facebook, or sends a message to a WhatsApp group saying that Mr. A is so and so, this, Now, you also have a civil remedy for that, which is an action under the thought of defamation. You can actually file a civil suit in the court and you can claim for damages. Now, when we claim for damages, it is meant to teach that person a lesson, that not to defame someone without knowing the truth of the matter, not to write explicitly about someone when you don't have the knowledge over that issue in the first place. So that should actually be a reminder for everyone. You can't just rampantly go on and defaming someone in social media just because you think that you are covered behind a phone.
True, very true. And supposedly that guy had over 1,000 followers in his TikTok page. So it becomes so influential, these people. And then, so this is, occasionally here and there happens. Now, let me take, if there's any questions from the viewers. Okay. I think there is, thanks to people like you, there's a hope for people who have been victims of cyberbullying. Thank you. Okay, I think you're referring to both of you. Guests. Okay, for those who are still watching, we are about to finish. We have another 10 minutes to wrap up our session. It's very interesting. This topic, we can go on and on. The internet is a little bit lagging today. I think that's another challenge. We have a very smooth internet. I'm waiting for the 5G. Let the 5G come so we can do a fantastic streaming. Okay, maybe we can touch on those. Maybe what is, Colonel, your opinion? People comment on this is very sensitive issue. I know we are living in a multiracial society. We respect each other. Our practices are different. We are different, yet we are one. And that's the power of Malaysia, multiracial society. But then there are, people who comment religious remarks, respecting other religions and posing comments. And there are cases even came to court and all that. Some, I think, being challenged at court. Maybe, Colonel, what is your take what is your advice for these kind of people who write comments?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing when you have a Facebook, when you have all the social media, the worst thing and they really scared of is the comment section. And that is the one that they will be. And I saw a lot of bloggers, a lot of people who have their own blogs and everything would definitely undo the comment part so that nobody. But the thing is, sometimes the social media or the person who owns that website is also responsible for the comment, and that's why sometimes it's better not to have the comment. Okay, again, I think those people who are doing all this comment memang dia dah macam tu lah. It's quite difficult to do. So that's why it's our job at the moment when we're trying to especially teach and also trying to influence our younger generation, especially those who are still young. We need to give them education, give them awareness. And as you know, we as Malaysian, I understand the sensitivity. In the military, we have, I was studying in the Staff College last time. Each nation has its own center of gravity. Like Japan, perhaps their economy, like America, their economy, some minerals. But in Malaysia, the unique part of Malaysia is the race relation. If any country would like to invade Malaysia or to make kacau bilau here, the first thing they do is to kacau the racial relationship, because this is our center of gravity. That's why each and every one of our political masters need to do their job. And each and every one of us. I think during my time in schools, I have Indian friends. My best friend was Chinese. I don't know, somehow or other, I have to be honest about this. As we go along, the segregation ini sudah makin lama makin banyak lah. And I hope we need to do something about that. Especially, this can be sensitive, but I think a lot of people would say something, maybe our education system, but these are the things that we need to look into. And this may be, Jay, another topic to discuss later on. But then again, the relationship that we have, again, when I'm trying to point out just now, is our kawal kendiri of self-regulation. You need to self-regulate yourself. be mindful of other people. Would you do that to yourself? If you don't do to others as what do to others as what you do to yourself. I think everybody is universal, and these are the things. And parents play your role. Tengok anak-anak tu sama ada if they are murung, and again if they are sometimes, I mean, you must know the signal, the signs. If they are being cyberbullied, and that's why parents nowadays, it's not easy to become parents nowadays with all these technological advances. You need to know, not only to know, not exactly technology adroit, but then again you need to know at least something about the computer, so that anak kita tak menipu kita all the time.
Yeah, true.
I
Very
mean, it
true.
happens at the moment. So
We-
you have to know a little bit. You have to go to the, I mean, to read, and that's why we are worried. I mean, okay, sometimes now, I mean, this happened people in the urban area. What about people in the kampung? Last time we said that, I mean, when they have this, and now the government is giving away 150,000 gadgets. I mean, head notebooks and everything. And the worry thing is that when their children bring their notebook, their phone to the room, their parents might think that, or they are doing their schoolwork, they're studying. But then again, you don't know what they are doing. So we have to ambil tahu of what exactly they are doing. Where do they browse? Where do they go? And there's also another topic on pornography.
Correct.
Yeah,
Parents
yeah,
must follow what's happening.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Colonel, for that response. There is one question here. Maybe Mr. Joel, you can try handle this. It seems some people think that giving comment is just to be famous. So, like, I comment something derogatory or some insulting remarks. If there are a lot of people they send a lot of love, I become very famous. So this kind of mindset. So what do you think for this kind of, as legal advice for these people? Maybe you can give them.
I mean, there's nothing much legal advice to be given in this context. Basically, there's plenty of ways for you to be famous. You know, for teenagers, I would suggest them to study hard and to be someone. And take care of their parents. That itself is it's sufficient. So being famous, the generation now, they're all about the glam and the star. Being famous. But I don't think you need to be famous in the expense of actually troubling others or hurting someone. That is not the way it should be. Now, I would like to add. I actually missed this point earlier on. As Malaysians, as Asian people, we need to stop doing one thing. I'm speaking in the context of cyberbullying, which is victim blaming. Now, victim blaming is very prevalent over in our culture. Simple. When someone is being victimized, the first thing that the family would say, "Yala, who asked you to do that?" You see, that is already a form of victim blaming. Now, this victim blaming itself will discourage someone to speak up and to voice out against the bullying that they are going through. So instead of actually victim blaming, parents, family members, they should actually tell their children not to bully others. Don't show your dominance over another person. Don't be aggressive towards another person. I think that is the culture that we need to start doing. That is how we should do it. Instead of actually telling them, hey, don't share this don't post this picture on Instagram or Facebook. People might actually backfire you. Instead of that, we should tell people to treat another human being with more respect and empathy. That is the way that it should be. And to the younger generations, I wish to say that, of course, yes, you must treat another human being with much respect, and do not ever, in whatever circumstances, try to belittle someone just because they are not they are less powerful as you are. Speaking in terms of physical strength or whatever it may be, in whichever circumstances.
True, very true. Mr. Joel, are you married? If I can ask, I think you will make a great father. Such a good good advice.
I am.
Okay. You have children, so good.
Yes.
Good.
No,
for
I don't
your
have children yet. I am married. Yeah.
Okay.
My wife is also watching.
Many viewers today frustrated from your statement just now.
Good
Yeah.
advice. Okay, I just want to one more question. I think let me take this. This is Indrani Kumar. She's asking. This is question to Colonel. You were talking about some curriculums and all that that you have. I know those pertaining to cyber security and. So, if there's anything, how to get you? Is it primary or secondary school? She's asking this syllabus.
Yeah. I think I know this is Dr. Indrani. She's one of the who called this morning to call me about this this event tonight. She's one of the soroptimists. But anyway, Dr. Indrani, basically, this module that we are introducing is for primary school from standard 1 to standard 6. But we make it into module, basically from standard 1 to standard 3, one module, standard 4 to standard 6, one module. And also for secondary school, the lower secondary school from Form 1 to Form 3, and but for the teenagers for Form 5 and Form 5. So these are all the topics. We have in fact 6 topics, and one of them is cyberbullying. Other is the cybercrime. Secondly is social media problem, and we talk about balancing time online. And these are the things that we are introducing. Hopefully, it has already been approved by the Ministry of Education, but now we have some. Now the Ministry of Education now is trying to put it onto their servers and everything, and they have to be tested. We don't want at the end of the day with all this module people come and hack in, other thing keluar nanti bahaya lah. So that we are doing all the testing at the moment. So hopefully by July, and I think hopefully will be launched by the by the minister. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If there's anything like anybody want to know, get some information, you can always contact us. Okay, I want to finish our session. I want to thank both my guests, Colonel, and also Mr. Joel, for making your time, 1 hour of precious time for being with me. And let me wrap up just a few salient points that, dear viewers, there's no law yet, no cyber law. So don't cyberbullying. There's no law. So be careful. You take care of yourself, take care of your family, and you got to be resilient. Parents' education very important. Victim blaming, please. Don't attack the victim. They're already mentally disturbed. And then you talked about the cyber 999 numbers there. So you reach out for help. Don't suffer in silence. Okay, so with this, I want to say goodbye. I may not be able to take all the questions. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you very much once again, Colonel Mustafa and Brother Joel Ruben. Okay, so at the count of 5.
The pleasure is ours.
At the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we will end the session. Okay.
Okay. Thanks all for watching.
Thanks for. Okay. Thank you guys for kindly sharing this content. Yeah. Thank you. So those who are watching after this, please comment or you can share this content. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Okay. Good night. Bye. Bye.
Bye.